I flew all the way to London to make a video for a huge mansion. That I'll be marketing in the United States. I'm basically the real estate agent in the United States that's responsible for getting a bunch of views and all these things for this property. You know, I sell apartments in the United States, but I also get a lot of, you know, I have a lot of clientele across the world, and so this was a really neat opportunity to go in and film this property. Now this thing is 8,500 square feet. 8,500. That is a lot of house to cover. It's a huge house, and there's a lot of things to film. So naturally, you know, you're coming all this way, you got to be a little bit nervous because, you know, when you're filming, there has to be all these things because you want to show the house in its best sense. You want like good light, good weather. So I'm on the way to the property now. It's actually a little bit rainy today. Right now it stopped raining as soon as... And so it just so happened by the time that I got to the house, the rain had stopped. But it's also a crazy time in the world right now, and there's a lot of protests going on between the, you know, Israeli and Palestinian conflicts. So there were so many roads closed off. The photographer's running late, I'm running late. There's noise on every corner, and when you're filming houses and when you're on camera, you gotta have great audio, all these things. So it was a little bit nerve-wracking. Thank God this house is in an amazing area. It is a huge home. I mean, the door itself, honest to God, felt like it weighed 100 pounds. I mean, the thing is like probably 12 inches thick. I mean, it's a huge, heavy door. So I ended up filming it, but what I thought was very interesting too is that the videographer used a gimbal and an iPhone. So he filmed the whole thing with an iPhone. So I'm very curious of what your thoughts on how the video looks. I thought it was, I think it's pretty impressive, especially for the iPhone, but I'll let you be the judge of that. So, besides the film and the video, of course, I'm going to enjoy London while I'm here, see some friends. So I wanted to give you kind of some of the things that I love, and that's some of the things maybe surprised me as well about London I think you would find interesting. So one of the pros is the walkability of London and the transportation. It's actually pretty easy to get around depending on where you're staying, and usually you're gonna have your options of just endless restaurants, things like that, just depending on what you're looking to get out of your vacation. But, you know, for me, it's a huge thing with transportation, especially public transportation. I'm from New York City. I like walking everywhere. As you can tell, like I have the ability to walk like right now, right outside my door, and be at a lot of cool things from sightseeing to shopping and the whole nine. So the walkability is good. Public transportations, you have a lot of metro systems, metro lines. Google Maps is key. It'll tell you where you want to go. It's super simple. I figured it out for the first time. Didn't have any problems. Of course, you have the double-decker red buses, which are, you know, a London classic. Maybe you want to take those one time. And then what's actually really impressive is the cabs, the black cabs that they have here, like the cabs. They're huge. I mean, New York needs to, like, you know, take note on that. I mean, you know, New York cabs can be a little smelly, a little odd. I like to take Ubers, but here, the London cabs, I mean, they are monstrous. They don't have a trunk, so it's just like this extra tall, extra wide thing with like seats they have you can pull down or not, but there's so much room in them. I was actually pretty surprised by it, and they're on every corner. Of course, you can take an Uber and all of that stuff, but that was one of the first pros. One of the things that honestly sounds cliche, but just blows me away, what I realized just immediately when I came into London, is the architecture. The buildings, all of the buildings are absolutely amazing. Just everything is just much older, historical. Everything has just been so well kept, and you really just, you know, in New York City, we have like buildings you think that are super old that are maybe like 100 years old or whatever. Like in London, it's like, oh my God, the level of detail and craftsmanship in all these buildings, you just feel this feeling of grandeur. Like in every block, from the houses to the hotels to the landmarks, it is stunning. Like when you arrive in London and you're even in a cab and you're on your way to the hotel, and if you've never been here before, it will blow you away. It's something that you really don't want to underestimate, and the video, regardless of how good, in my opinion, doesn't do it justice. It's something you really got to experience here, and you'll feel that energy right away. So another major pro, and a bit of an obvious one here, are the cultural activities. The things to do, the museums, the places to see. This is actually Buckingham Palace right behind me. So those opportunities, as you know, are endless. As I was mentioning earlier, the history is just incredible in London. So you have to do some of the tourist cliche stuff because it's just one of a kind things you just have to see in your life. This is definitely one of them, by the way. One thing though I have to say that did surprise me is the food quality. It's a big misconception London has. Maybe it was like that previously, you know, back in the day. I mean, London was very just notorious food scene. You know, it just didn't have like the best options, you know. But I will say it is known for its Indian food. I love Indian food. In fact, the first day I got here, I had Indian food twice. Once at a Michelin restaurant for lunch, and then I also had one for dinner. It was amazing. But besides like the level of Indian food, and of course I'll drop some recommendations in the description, some of the very traditional stuff that you have to do as well when you're here, like an afternoon roast. Man, this steakhouse we went to was incredible. It was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, middle of the day, packed, crowded. Not really a tourist trap either, big local spot. And all the steaks, everything they had was just amazing. You have to try that. What else? Tonight we're going for like a fish and chips, which is another classic London thing to do. All right, so we have the fish and chips, and then we have the shepherd's pie. Now, the shepherd's pie is with lamb, but believe me, the fish and chips is really incredible. The fried part of it, like the outside, is like this thin, hollow, crisp taste, and the fish, of course, is just very fresh. They have the 3 sauces, curry, this white sauce. What do you think the white sauce is?
Tartar.
The tartar sauce, I guess. By the way, it's great. You have to try it here. This is what they're known for. Highly recommend it. Of course, you know, you have a lot of different savory treats as well you have to try here. Of course, you know that I love chocolate, so I'm definitely going to go have my fill. The pistachio, there's like this chocolate bar that's like a pistachio crunch in the middle. My favorite. I'm definitely going to have to show you that one. But so the restaurant scene did surprise me pretty good. All right, so another big pro about London is the nightlife. It's the things to do, whether if that's even just going to your local pub, traditional thing, especially it's a bonus if there's a football match on or rugby, something like that. It's gonna be packed, you get a nice lager. That's just gonna be a really fun local experience. But then also there are the lounges, which is what I'm really into. I like those type of lounges, and dance club maybe once in a while if you're with the right person, but I'd highly recommend that. It's definitely a huge bonus though if you know anybody that can get you in the membership clubs, because London is a big membership club scene, and it's a huge bonus if you know someone to get in. Mayfair has a lot of those membership clubs. I had to write a couple of them down, obviously, because I'm not a local here in London, but I'll read some of them to you so you can look into it. There's Annabelle's, Lulu's, a place called Tramp, and then okay, so maybe I did get access to one of them. I have a friend that's a member at Maison, Estelle. Now, this honestly was very, very impressive. To me, it was arguably, I think it was the best membership club that I've ever been to, and I've been to a lot, especially in New York City, LA. This place takes the cake. It's really just there is, let's see, we first went to the main dining room. Everything is dim lit, candle lit, smells great, the whole shebang, beautiful people. But you know what? They take a sticker and they put it on the camera of all of your phones. So you can't have camera any footage there. So unfortunately, I can't show you any of those things. But the dinner experience was really nice, very exceptional. But not just the dinner, they have an upstairs terrace, so that's one lounge option. They have a library option, which is like pretty cool, dim lit, just kind of like those library vibes if you were like just chilling in a library with like a nice drink. What else did they have? They also had oh my gosh, My favorite was the hip hop room, because I love hip hop and R&B, especially from the 90s, and they had one room that was dedicated just to that. So a little bit of a clubby vibe, but it wasn't so loud that you couldn't hear yourself talk. You could still dance though, because believe me, people were dancing. And on the other side of the same level, you know, obviously the music doesn't intertwine, was like it was like a disco 70s, not disco 70s, but they had disco vibes. They did throw in some like older music, but it was just like it was just really neat, kind of like house infused, I guess, if you will. You know, house music, they can do that and infuse different genres. The place was an absolute vibe. Then there was another one downstairs that was like more of your club experience. So I think, like, all in all, I don't know, there must have been like 4 or 5 different type of lounges, different type of environments that you can experience. And so it was just like a really neat feeling. It closes at 3 a.m. We were one of the last to leave. So one final pro that I want to give you that I really enjoyed here is the shopping. I mean, wow, you have that. Of course, London's a very big city, so you're gonna find everything from your top brand designers, I mean, your most famous designers, maybe some things, these designers, that you wouldn't find in other cities, like unique items there. But then there's also your boutiques and local shops, especially if you're into suits like I am, for custom made things. So you can find some really neat stuff just around shopping. There's also Harrods and those really big iconic places. But the neighborhoods and areas that I would love to shop in are Soho, Mayfair, and there was one other area actually. You know what? I wrote it down for you because I didn't want to forget it. Oh yeah, and Knightsbridge, of course. So definitely check out those areas if you're into some shopping. Maybe do a little bit of research before you go out. But again, like, London is such a great experience, just walking around everywhere, just from the architecture, the friendly people. You know, do some exploring. Bring a video camera with you. Well, thanks for watching. If this is the first time visiting my channel and you want to see inside some amazing properties, or you want some neighborhood tours, again, I'm based out of New York City, so you're going to get a lot of content there, but I do travel a lot, so you're going to see some pretty cool things. Obviously some videos like this where you have London, but be sure to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications so you can be the first one to know when a new video is dropped. I'm also going to say that what I do in New York City, I sell houses. I sell big ones, I sell small ones. I have a whole team dedicated to helping people looking to move, and not just New York City, around the world, hence why I'm marketing this property in London. So if you're looking to move, whether that be 9 or 90 days, I would love to hear from you. Again, I hear from people like you every day, whether that's phone call, text, email, from people watching my videos. We can even Zoom, so feel free to reach out. And until then, I'll see you next time.